Hurken ook het trap sonsen. Trap sonsen, trap donsen. Toen is ons de hoekje door het land. Daar is dood en door het amor.
What's up, people? Adam Hunter here, giving you another podcast. This week, we got Charles Rosa on. This dude has an incredible story. And the reason you're getting so many podcasts is because of the good people over at Rockfin, ROKFIN/Adam Hunter. Make sure you endorse me if you want to get podcasts and stand up. If you like the show, if you want to be like, Adam, I appreciate what you're doing. It's a big help. Go to rockfin.com/Adam Hunter. And endorse me. It's $10 a month, but you cancel anytime if you want. You're not going to want to because you're going to be getting so many podcasts with so many great fighters. You're going to be like, oh my God, this is awesome. So rockfin.com/Adam Hunter. Listen, people, I got to talk about a lot of things. I'll talk about speed weed. Listen, marijuana is legal in California. It's legal. You don't have to leave your house to get it because speed weed has you covered. You leave your house, you get there, they're like, hey, smoke this, smoke that, smoke this. Next thing you know, you get pulled over, you're high, and you're going to get a DUI. Your life's going to be crazy. Your wife's going to leave you. It's going to be $25,000. You're going to lose your job. You're going to be homeless. It's a whole thing. It's all could be prevented by going to speedweed.com. At Speedweed, they got the best marijuana. They got edibles. They got CBD, all kinds of stuff. Go to @Speedweed, mention MMA Roasted. You get 10% off, $100 or more. Also, I got to tell you about Nature's Oils Online. A lot of people are hesitant to try hemp-derived CBD oil because they don't know where to start. There are so many different products and brands. It's hard to know which product's right for you, how much to take, when to take it, if you're taking too much. So many questions. Well, this family-owned business has you covered. They provide the highest quality U.S.-grown hemp-derived CBD products, also give you personal guidance, okay? They have a great website. Go to naturesoilsonline.com, and they ship you for free in the continental U.S., and they will take care of your questions, okay? They have whole plant hemp oil extract, hemp-derived isolate tinctures, hemp and emu oil pain balm, and full-spectrum CBD dog chews. My dog loves it. Have any questions? Call them up, 469-525-3131. That's 469-525-3131. They're offering a 15% discount off their already reasonable prices. I take CBD all the time. I highly recommend it. It relaxes me. It calms me down. It makes me focus, okay? So mention Adam10 to get 15% off. Adam10. Now, let's talk to Charles Rosa. What's up, man? How are you?
What's up, man? Is this Adam?
Yes, this is Adam.
Oh, what's up, man? How's it going?
Good. How are you doing, man?
Great, man. Just finished up training over at American Top Team. Just got back. Just about to eat in a little bit, but everything's good, man.
I know. Now, when I met you in Vegas, I knew you were a great fighter, and I knew you were awesome. I was a fan, but I had no idea you were a huge chef. What is this? You're a full-time chef?
Right now I'm not because I just, I'm back from, I was actually just out a year. So you haven't seen me in the cage for a while because I had an injury. So I was out for over a year, so I, was picking up work a little bit more. But before I ever started fighting, when I first moved down to Florida, before that, I graduated from culinary school. I went to Johnson & Wales University in Providence, Rhode Island, which is like one of the best culinary schools in the country. And, I graduated with a degree in culinary arts. So initially I was going to be a chef. I had big dreams to be in the NHL, played hockey there and stuff, but, never made it to the NHL. So I was always a fighter, a tough kid. And then when I moved down to Florida, I was working full time as a chef before I found MMA.
Wow. You got to be the toughest chef. Like, anybody ever complain about the food and then you're like, people are afraid to complain?
Man. No doubt, man. When and chefs are very mostly the head chefs are really tough, when you first come in, you start at the bottom. But man, restaurants, believe it or not, there's a lot of fights and a lot of conflicts because, you got a lot of people, kind of working, you got a lot of people from other countries coming in. Some don't speak English, some do. And there's a lot of conflict, it's almost like I don't really know how to explain it, but it's almost like the jail mixture. You got people from all over the place, and you're working together. So sometimes things get crazy. So I've had a couple kids, say things to me at work, but once they found out I was a fighter, that stuff has stopped since then. So
wow,
when I first started.
That's awesome. Now I know you've been off for a couple of years because you had a neck injury.
Yeah. I had a neck injury. It's all good now. It's been about a year and 3 months since last competition. So, it's been a long road, but, I'm happy that, everything's good now. I'm ready to go. So I'm back in full training, no restrictions, everything's good, cleared to go 100%. So I just, going to probably give it a couple more weeks before, I have to take a fight in the UFC again. So
nice. I saw you training with Kawajiri, right?
Yeah. Yep. No, not Kawajiri. Kyoji. Kawajiri is another fighter, a Japanese fighter. But no, Kyoji Haraguchi.
Oh, Kyoji Haraguchi, right.
Yeah, he fights in Risen. He's a friggin' beast, man. I actually just got done rolling with him like an hour, 2 hours ago. I was just rolling with him. And, man, he's an awesome kid. I was actually there the day that he first came into American Top Team. I was one of the first people he trained with. And, man, he's a really nice kid, always super happy, always in a good mood. He's a special fighter too.
Yeah, and I mean he beat Darian Caldwell. That was an amazing. That was a crazy fight. I was picking Caldwell all day for that fight. And
did he beat him twice, or he's about to fight him again?
They're gonna fight again.
That's what it is. Okay.
And people were saying that Caldwell probably or might have won if it was in a cage, but the ring helped Kawajiri kind of thing. Haraguchi.
Kyoji,
I don't know. I mean, all I know is he got the win. So,
yeah, I mean, a lot of the thing too is that kid works harder than like anybody I've ever seen. The kid's always in the gym working. He's jump roping. He's running on Sundays. Like I remember I was with Walt because Walt Harris too, and Walt was living at the American Top Team gym with Kyoji. And Walt told me a funny story one time that he woke up like Sunday morning, to like take a piss. He went to the bathroom and he went in there, and like he sees Kyoji putting his friggin' like running gear on. He's like, man, what the hell are you doing? It's 6 a.m. on Sunday. He's like, where are you going? He's like, I go run, And then Walt's like, what the hell, man? This kid's crazy. Like he's waking up Sunday morning 6 a.m. to run. So when you see something like that, that's a special type of person. The dedication to do something like that. So. I was just, when Walt told me that, I was dying laughing. Walt's like, man, I was about to go to church and this kid's going to run.
Yeah. They should remake Rush Hour with Walt Harris and Kyoji. I think that'd be a funny, they should remake.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a good one. Be UFC 1 throwback.
That would be awesome. Now, are you training with Colby Covington also?
Yeah, I train with Colby in the gym. I've been training with him for years, man. I've been training with him for probably 5-6 years now over at American Top Team, and man, he's the same as Kyoji, man. All the best guys are always the hardest workers, and it pays off. Sometimes it takes years, Colby when he first started, but man, he's the UFC champ right now, and it's pretty special to be able to see him and watch his journey go to the top. I mean, the kid, he's a star now, and some people don't like him, but I think he's a good kid,
Yeah, I like him too. I do wonder though, when he like makes those things about Brazilians, calls them filthy animals or Russians, how do the Brazilians and Russians react to him at American Top Team?
Yeah, I don't think they don't say too much. I mean, he kind of does his thing. He comes in the classes. He's respectful in person. He's not like sitting there calling the kids, Brazilian, like making fun of him like to their face. Like he just I think more of it for him, and I think it actually worked because I don't think he would have got a title shot as fast as he did. I mean, yeah, like I don't agree with him, calling people names in their country, making fun of them. But for him, it's like it's kind of like it's like the show. You got to get people engaged, you got to get people interested, and that's the route he decided to take in. He did it, and he has the belt now, so. Whatever way he was able to get there and get that fight and do, and get the belt, then, I mean, he's making more money than he would have before. But, I mean, like I said, in person, when you see him, he's a stand-up kid, awesome kid, man. And, he works hard. So most of all, he works hard.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's the thing. Now your fights are pretty awesome. Your fight, but they've thrown you to the wolves, man. Like you were 9-0 going to the UFC. Then they throw you against Dennis Seaver. which was a great fight. It was fight of the night. And then the Yair Rodriguez was fight of the night. Then Kyle Bochak, which you beat Kyle, right?
I beat Kyle. Yeah.
And then Shane Burgos was the first time you lost. But what, you got 3 fight of the night bonuses?
Yeah. So all those, I got 3 fight of the night bonuses. So like all my losses are fight of the night, and it's just, man, it's like, I don't feel like, I get thrown to the wolves. I mean, all my losses are against top 10 guys, and they were all fight of the night, and they were all razor thin. Like I was winning. I thought I won the Yair fight, no doubt. I mean, you can kind of go back and watch it. One Mexican judge said that I won, 2 said I lost. It was a split decision in Mexico, in his hometown. I didn't have one person besides my parents and my family cheering for me in that place. That place was nuts. And that was in Mexico City, and I thought I won that fight, and that was a big fight for me because that would have been like a turning point. He blew up after that, and, I had to take an L, and that was a tough one, to lose a split decision in Mexico City. But, I came back and I beat Kyle Bochniak, who's a super tough kid. You guys have seen his fights with the Russian dude. I forget his name, but that was a great fight too. But he's tough as nails, so he was tough to put away. I mean, but, I won a unanimous decision against him, and then I got Shane Burgos, man. I thought I was dominant. I won the first 2 rounds. I got the scorecards after. I was winning the first 2 rounds, and in the third round, he caught me with a good uppercut, and I was fighting back on my feet, and the ref just jumps in, and I was like, "What are you doing?" I grabbed the referee. You see me push him off, and fucking man, I was just I was just like wicked pissed. I was like, went to the ref. I was like, "Yo, what the hell are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I thought you were hurt." I'm like, "Well, I'm not." He's like, "Oh," you pretty much just said sorry to me. I'm like, "Awesome." Like, I'm winning. I'm like, I even said to him, like, "Man, I was winning both rounds." And he just said sorry, and that was it, man. And it was just tough. It was a tough loss to take. That was like the first time I've ever been stopped really on paper, even though I was on my feet fighting back. But like I said, I try not to complain about it. All I can do is get back in the gym and work on it, and get back in the cage. And I know where I'm at. I've never been outclassed in the cage. I've never had anyone just dominate me or beat me. I don't feel like I've ever been beaten in there. So, it's a part of the game. I can't wait to get back in there.
No, I think you're right there, man. Like you're probably like 2 or 3 fights away from, I think, like a real, like a title fight. Now, did you?
That's how I feel. Just one big fight, one more big guy. So I just can't wait to get back in there. Most of all, though, because it's been so long. It's
also in your blood. Your grandfather and your uncle were both boxers.
Yeah, especially my grandfather is in his late 90s now, so I talk to him about it sometimes. But he's getting older now, so it's tough to get all the good stories. But he boxed in the Navy and stuff like that. And my uncle Tommy, Tom the Bomb Rosa is his name, and he works like a full-time job. He has 5 daughters. Actually, just came back from my cousin Sammy's wedding in North Carolina. His daughter just got married. But my uncle Tom the Bomb Rosa, he has over like 200 amateur fights, and he's still fighting. He's like 55 years old, I think, and he's still taking fights. So he's a man, dude. He's one of the guys I always look up to. He watched me as a kid and stuff like that. So
wait, your uncle is 55 and still taking boxing fights?
Yep.
Who's he fighting?
He actually just won the Masters a couple months ago. So they have like boxing, like different boxing leagues, and one of them, like he won the what's it called, the Ringside Masters division. So Ringside does these big tournaments where they get people from like all ages, from kids all the way to older people, and they have tournaments, and they kind of line them up with the weight a little bit and within like 10, 15 years of the age. But he's like the only guy I know that like puts weights in his pockets to fight. Like he always is fighting the weight classes up. I'm like, I went to one of his fights and he put fucking weights in his pants so he can make weight. I'm like, what are you doing? You're supposed to cut weight. He's like, no, this is how I do it. I like to, fight. This is the fight they gave me, so I have to make weight. I'm like, you're nuts, Tommy. He's my uncle. But,
wow.
He's real nails. He's a real fighter. You know what I'm saying? So that's, one of the guys I looked up to, and I just saw him this weekend, so it was good to see him.
And you grew up in Boston?
Yeah, I grew up in Boston until I was 20. I was in Boston until I was like 19. Then for 2 years, I went to Providence, Rhode Island, to go to culinary. 3 years to go to culinary school in Providence. Went to Johnson and Wales.
No, I've done a
pretty
comedy.
Much from there,
I've actually performed there. I actually did a comedy show at Johnson and Wales.
Oh yeah, Providence is an awesome place, man. It's a good spot. So.
And where did you go to high school?
I went to Peabody High School. It's like 15 minutes north of Boston. So That's where I went to high school. It's like, it's a suburb right outside of Boston. And, I played hockey, lacrosse, played sports there my whole life. And then once, it's funny because I came from a big Italian family. So I always was cooking as a kid with my dad and stuff.
Yeah.
But I never knew, I never was like, oh, I want to be a chef, but when the guidance council took me in the office, they said, hey, what do you want to do? And I'm like, oh, I want to play hockey. And they're like, well, for education. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, well, what are your other hobbies? I'm like, well, I like cooking. So like, well, we have this school that has hockey and cooking. So that was Johnson & Wales. And I was like, all right, sign me up.
Wow.
And that's how I got into culinary school. And I think it was one of the best things I could do, especially for my career. Cause now I can basically cook all my own meals, and, my diet's always pretty good. And, I get to eat much better than most of the other fighters do when it comes to camps. You can ask Wall. I was cooking. He lived in my house for like a year. We just cook every day, and he was like, dude, I can't believe you get, he's a heavyweight, so he eats whatever he wants, but
yeah,
he's like, man, I can't believe you get to eat this good. Like, it's crazy,
So when did you start training to fight?
I started training so basically I was working in the restaurant. I was a chef, and I was working full-time as a chef. I only had a bicycle, only had a cell phone. Actually, I was actually in a treatment center. I was in a rehab when I first moved down to Florida because I was having a tough time up in Boston. It was just getting really bad. Like, part of my past was I lost my 2 older brothers to drug overdoses. Yeah. So that's, and it was tough. I kind of got tied up with it, and that's kind of why I moved to Florida. But luckily I had my degree in culinary arts and stuff like that. So I was able to, get a job pretty quick and get back on my feet, and I was doing good, but I just had no money. I was broke as you could be. I only had a bicycle. I honestly didn't even have a cell phone when I first moved down here. So I only had a bicycle, had a job, and was able to start saving up a little bit. But and then one day I was kind of at the treatment center, they told me there was a therapist they assigned me to, and the therapist was like, how you doing? I'm like, well, I'm good, but I don't think I can just go to work every day like everybody else. I don't feel happy doing this. This isn't what I want to do. I feel like I should be doing more. And she's like, well, what are your other hobbies? And I'm like, well, I always like boxing, She's like, well, why don't you find a boxing gym and try to check it out? So I thought I walked into a boxing gym, but I really walked into American Top Team in Boca Raton.
Wow.
Charles McCarthy was the head trainer there. Cole Miller was there. Todd Duffy was there. Micah Miller was there. So in the first class, the first guy, they had a kickboxing class. So I hopped in it, didn't even have my own pair of gloves, had the bar repair. Did the whole class, last 15 minutes of sparring, and Cole Miller was the teacher, and he was like, all right, everyone partner up. And sure enough, I'm the only guy without a partner. So I see Cole sitting there just watching. I'm like, hey, do you want to spar? I'm like, I don't have a partner. He's like, he just ignored me. So then I was like, oh, this guy's a punk. And I was like, yo, was that a no? And he's like, oh, you want to spar me? All right, let's go. And I just banged it out with Cole Miller my first day in the gym ever, in a boxing gym. For 3 rounds, 3-minute rounds is hard. I mean, for me, it was a real fight. He was definitely better than me. I still feel I won the fight, but it was I probably took the worst of it for sure because he's so good. And then I went home that night being like, man, this boxing thing's tough. I had no idea who Cole Miller was because I didn't really, I watched the UFC ones, but I wasn't in it that much. So went home that night being like, man, this is a tough sport. But I came back the next day. Charles McCarthy sat me down and was like, yo, man, where'd you train at? You did really good last night. And I thought he was kind of fucking with me, being sarcastic. And he's like, no, man, that's that kid you spar with is Cole Miller. He's top 10 fighter in the UFC right now in your weight class. I'm like, and right that second, the light bulb went off, man. And that's when I realized this is what I want to do. I just knew right when he said that, I'm like, if this guy can do it, nothing against Cole, I love the kid, but I'm like, if this guy could be in the UFC, I can do it. There's no doubt in my mind. And I never stopped since then, and just full throttle.
Wait, how long ago was this?
That was 8 years ago.
That's
8,
crazy.
9 years ago, yeah.
But how did you know how to box?
Pretty much just messing around with my uncle, and doing locker boxing and hockey. So when I played hockey since I was 5 years old, and every day after practice we would just put on the helmets, the hockey helmets and the gloves, and we would just scrap it out in the locker rooms, after practice. Not every day, but a lot of the times we'd scrap it out, and then we used to fight we used to have a full-size trampoline, and we used to just beat each other up. So I think a lot of my training just was and I had 2 older brothers, so they would chase me around the house and beat the shit out of me since I was a little kid. So I always was fighting, whether it was, real training or whatever it was. I could always scrap. Mostly from hockey too. You have to be tough to be able to play hockey, and we always like to get in fights in hockey. So, and then occasionally I would just like my uncle, I would ask him to teach him, but it was pretty limited. Just when I saw him at Christmas and Easter and stuff like that.
That's insane. The fact that you had no real boxing sparring, though, like the fact that you like never even sparred around. This guy probably sparred thousands of rounds before and had all these fights, and you held your own. Do you think he was? Do you think he was holding back?
I don't think so, because I asked him. He didn't really say, but like I don't think so, because I kind of called him out. Like I wasn't like, if someone did that to me, I would whoop. I mean, he was throwing hard shots. Like he was rocking me. Like he was hitting me hard. Like I had like blood in my nose and blood in my lips after. So it wasn't like, I mean, you can't really, if you got blood on you, they ain't holding back. So
yeah, and Cole's, Cole's a pretty proud guy. Cole's not the kind of guy.
He's like, oh, I don't know,
Yeah, and
like, but
Cole's competitive too. He's a competitive guy. He's not gonna fuck around.
Yeah, exactly. He's not gonna let some kid come off the street and whoop his ass. And I don't think I could have anyways. But and the thing it was just boxing. So like boxing is much harder to put somebody down. And I don't think he's trying to put me down because I'm one of his students too. So like I don't think he was trying to knock me out like everything he got like it was a fight. But I mean, we were sparring hard and he was throwing hard shots, but like it wasn't like we could kick or knee or punch. That's when like things started getting tougher. When you start being able to mix it all together, you'll see. I mean, you could pretty much take like any guy off the street, and for the first 30, 40 seconds, you pretty much compete with like a pro boxer. But once you get that first second of like that first deep breath, it's all over. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like any tough guy that can throw, that knows how to keep his hands up, that's been in a couple of street fights, like they could compete for about 30 seconds. But once they take that first deep breath and the distance, they're done. It's over, But I just kept going.
Did you ever train with Hector Lombard? Because I heard stories about him. Like crazy
Yeah,
stories.
dude, Hector's the man, dude. He's a madman. I mean, the first thing that I was told when I went in the American Top Team before anything was rule number 1, don't train with Hector Lombard. I'm like, why? I'm like, all right, well, fair enough. He's a little bigger than me, so I probably won't have to. And I mean, I'm actually great friends with Hector now. I see him all the time. He's a stand-up guy to me. He's always treated me good, but I've definitely seen him put down some other guys that, try to disrespect him or act a little bit, don't show him the respect that he kind of deserves.
During the warm-up,
he was on like a 32 fight win streak when I met him, and he was the king of the gym. He's a gym king, so like I was always kind of hesitant to say anything to him. But the first time I ever talked to him, he was hitting the bag like a beast, just slamming it, boom, boom, boom. And I go, whoa, man. And I just wanted to give him a compliment. And I go, oh, man, you look like Mike Tyson hitting the bag. You're a beast, just to see if, like, he would say something. He turned around, he stopped, he looked at me, he goes, man, fuck Mike Tyson. I'll fucking kill him. And I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, dude. I was like, this guy's nuts, dude. And that was, like, my first interaction with this guy. And ever since then, he's always been nice to me and treated me with respect. But it was just like, I was like, this dude's the real deal,
Oh, my God. That's crazy.
He's like, I'll kill him. I'm like, oh shit. Anybody that says I'll kill Mike Tyson, like dead ass serious. And I was like, he probably could,
Oh my God. Now, is it hard sometimes, like when Nick Lentz left the gym, and then went up against Will Brooks, who was at the gym at the time? Do you get like torn on like who to root for? Or are you ever in like those like torn situations?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I just root for the person that I like more in certain situations, or the person that I think, is I just respect more. You know what I'm saying? But it definitely happens. Like you see, like when those guys fight or something like that, and you kind of know too. Like I know because I train with both of them. It's kind of cool because you kind of know which one's better, and which one is. It's pretty cool, like to watch it that outside the guys that you've trained with. But MMA is so unpredictable too that like even though you think something's gonna happen, man, it just takes one punch or one, you step the wrong way or something happens, and it's really pretty tough, tough to watch.
Yeah, I felt so bad for Rose last week because she was doing everything right.
Dude, it's crazy, and it's crazy because even I think it was Dominic Cruz was like, oh, she's in a perfect position. She can't get hurt here. And then, like, was it Dominic Cruz that said that? And then she got slammed in her head. I was like, oh, shit.
I know. And then he was like, and then Cormier was rubbing it. He's like, see, she needed to let go and go for the switch. I'm like, you think, really, when she's laid out on the ground?
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to say. I mean, I actually got slammed one time when I was in a triangle. I separated, like, my shoulder, but it's fine now. But I was, like, 5-6 years ago. I had a guy in a triangle, and the guy picked me up and just rampage slammed me. I still won the fight, separated my shoulder. My shoulder was out. I'm friggin' on the bottom. Like, what's going on? I'm like crazy. And I just ripped an arm bar and I finished the fight. And I stood up and my arm was just hanging. I'm like, oh my God, what happened? You know? And everyone was like, afterwards, like, oh, why didn't you just let go of the triangle? And I'm like, dude, like, because I don't know, but you know, it's not that easy just to like you going for the ride. You can't just like let go. It's like you're stuck, you know?
Right. So now I know Florida has beautiful Miami girls. You can cook, you can fight. Is it Pussy City for you? Is it just trim? Is it just team trim all day long?
Yeah, I mean, it was like that a while ago. Like, it was great, but you know, I mean, I got a girlfriend now, so I've had a girlfriend for a little bit now, and you know, she's awesome. But yeah, this place is the best, man. It's like there's everything. You got everything everywhere, you know, and it's a good spot. Like, and you can go to the beach any time of the day, and you know, when I first met my girlfriend, she was at FAU. You know, she's a cheerleader at FAU and stuff like that. So she had a lot of friends she'd always bring around. So it's always like a fun environment either way, you know.
A cheerleader at Florida Atlantic University. Look at you.
Yeah,
man. Look at you.
It's the way to do it, man. You got to come to Florida, bro.
Dude, I'm married with a kid. I'm not, you know.
Yeah. I'll probably
my life is. I got a hot, beautiful lady, but damn, cheerleader at FAU. Good for you, man.
Yeah.
You living the life, man. You living the life.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thanks, man.
8 years ago, you joined a gym because you needed to walk somewhere, and you didn't have a car, and now you're on top of the world, man. So
yeah, man. It's just a lot of hard work. You know, a lot of people, they see all the fame and all the good stuff. You know, they see you getting your hand raised. They see you on ESPN doing interviews, talking to Joe Rogan, like all this stuff, but they don't understand like the hundreds and thousands of hours that you put into the gym and all the little injuries and the hundreds of times that you thought your career was over because you twisted your knee the wrong way, or like the actual amount of work you had to put in, and, you know, the struggles, like sometimes in the beginning not even have money to eat. You got to pay your gym fees. Like, it's just so many times, like fighting injured, like, you know, just so many different things that people like don't see, that it's just, it makes it all that much better, like, once you make it, because it's like, damn, all that shit wasn't for nothing, you know?
Totally.
So it's pretty cool.
1,000%. So where can people find you?
Like on social media?
Yeah.
Yeah, social media. My Instagram is Charles Rosa MMA, and also same on Twitter, and you can find me there. And then, you know, I got Facebook too, but yeah, I think Instagram, Twitter, Charles Rosa, ROSA. MMA is the best way to find me. And yeah, definitely, man, you guys check me out. I'm always, you know, posting videos or pictures from training at the gym with all the guys I get to go with. So I'm pretty blessed that I get to train with some of the best guys on the planet. So, you know,
I love it.
You can always find me on you.
Well, keep up the great work, man. Great talking to you, brother.
Thanks, Adam, man. Next time you're in Florida, man, I get to hit up one of your shows. I was away in Thailand. I couldn't make it, but I can't wait till you come down next time.
All right, thanks a lot, Charles. I appreciate it.
Later, brother. Peace.
Thank you, Charles Rosa. Listen, people, I'm putting up an extra 2 or 3 podcasts a week on Rockfin. If you support these podcasts, if you support me, you want to hear more, all right, as well as lots of stand-up comedy and kamikaze comedy and all kinds of stuff, go to rockfin.com/Adam Hunter. Thank you guys so much. If you want to see me live, go to adamhunter.com. July 1st to the 6th or 7th, I'll be at the Stratosphere in Las Vegas. That's in Vegas. In June, I'm going to be in Calgary, the Comedy Cave, as well as Minnesota at the House of Comedy, end of June. End of July, I'm in Naples at Off the Hook Comedy Club. And then in August, I am at the, where am I at? Little Rock at the Looney Bin. I'm all over the world. Go to adamhunter.com. You can see my full website. Thank you guys so much. Take care. Bye-bye.
Trap sons and trap dansen. Түүний сонсдог хөгжим дур булаан. Даадаж дуулан дур булаа мууруулаа.